there on the street. Have at it.
This is Daredevil Born Again.
But I do not have time for your candy-ass hero shit.
Unbelievably a product of the MCU. There are no space beam lasers, there's no dramatic fight, just two characters with conflicting views clashing with each other's morality.
Tell you what I think, Red.
Tell me what you think.
I don't think you came here for my help.
Equally complex and arguably justified, both stand on opposite spectrums trying to do good.
See, I think you want my permission.
Between that spectrum, there's a line.
You want to get your hands on somebody, huh?
One the Punisher's crossed many times, one that Matt has yet to cross.
Maybe a little bit scared. A little scared about what that means.
The act of taking a life, a permanent end and unforgiving solution. Once someone meets their end, there is no coming back. They're gone. Permanently.
You come at me with that horse shit about saving lives. How about that friend of yours? You save his life.
All their moments, their memories.
You lost him, didn't you, Red?
Friends, family, loved ones, and partners. Their greatest achievements, their rock bottoms.
They say his name.
It's not about him.
Any meaningful contributions, all their failures and mistakes, gone. Returned 6 feet under to the cold, molded dirt. What's left is little more than fleeting memories, ideas and beliefs misconstrued by perfection, something that person never was.
Oh, God damn it, God damn you.
It's impossible to describe the grief we feel after the loss of a loved one, but one universal truth is that wish that they were still here. That wish for one last conversation, one last moment.
Most honest thing you did, Red.
That willingness to give anything for even just a minute of their time.
He talks to you, doesn't he?
Their absence haunts us.
Hear his voice.
You start to remember the most forgettable experiences and render even those special. Maybe it's a forgotten Radiohead hoodie from 20 years ago. Maybe it's that faint smell you can't get out of the car. Maybe it's the way that person woke you up every morning by knocking over pans and stomping down the stairs. But now you wake up late every morning to an empty house devoid of sound.
One of them get him. That's why I do what I do.
You remember the most minute details of a conversation long forgotten.
Didn't do a goddamn thing, and it's gonna keep eating at you. It's gonna keep eating and eating and eating. There's no getting away with it, you understand?
You remember their obnoxious jokes that never seemed very funny in the moment. Each of these moments hold a special place in your voided heart, but the truth is, those memories were never special, only the person was. We feel an immeasurable grief, wondering if there's anything we could have done. Searching for answers in completely unrelated memories, we look for solutions. Solutions to a problem that's already been solved.
You know he gets to breathe the same air that you breathe. You feel good about that? He got life!
The answer isn't right or wrong, but it is final. The answer is death. After Foggy's death, Matt gave up on being Daredevil. Crossing that line of taking someone's life was something he couldn't stand for. It's something unforgivable. But was it enough? Did Matt do enough? His friend was murdered in cold blood, and his killer wakes up every day surrounded by a bed and 4 walls.
How about old Foggy? He got life.
One of the best lines I've ever heard. Foggy's dead. There is no coming back.
Guys like you and me, we could work a lifetime and never measure up to his decency.
This one line perfectly encapsulates both Matt and Frank's conflicting views. No matter what Frank does, no matter how many people he kills, nothing will bring his family back. They've met a permanent solution, and Frank's still trying to find a different answer. For all the good that Matt's done, for every ounce of effort he's poured in, he has nothing to show for it. At the end of the day, the villains get back up and cause just as much damage as they did before. Fueled by this hope of redemption, Matt's chosen to never kill. But how many lives have been cut short by that choice?
Goodbye, Frank.
There is a Frank Castle storyline that is, I think, deep and rich and has been begging to be told.
The Punisher isn't just a mass-murdering psychopath with no regard for human life.
Frank's appearance is not random.
He's calculated, he's fair.
It comes back to your earlier question of who is a vigilante, who's good, who's bad, and Frank is one of those incredibly galvanizing characters.
He determines the scales of justice, serving as judge, jury, and executioner.
And Frank comes into our world with a purpose. That purpose is executed. Does it have something to do with these men that we see in that apartment? Yes.
Foggy's end reminds Matt of the finality of death.
And it was done super mindfully, and the thing is that in writer speak, this is the inciting incident.
It reassures him of his morals, that violence within Matt that want to hurt others. Every time he puts on that mask, he fights himself to not take it too far, to not cross that line. But what happens when he does?
And we needed to give Matt something that broke apart his world inside and outside. And in many ways, Foggy was the conscience. Foggy was his Jiminy Cricket. And what happens when you don't have that touchstone?
You mentioned that once Foggy's gone, it's sort of like that's Matt's North Star in some ways.
Big time, exactly.
So then the first thing that he does is he kills. It's Dex, so he doesn't actually die, but as far as Matt knows, he's killed Bullseye, right?
And regardless of whether he did or didn't, he wanted to.
Right, exactly.
So, as a lapsed Catholic, the sin is in the desire as well as the action.
But who decides where that line is? Is it the vigilantes themselves? Is it the state of New York? Or is it us, the audience?
And it gets so murky, like, why does it mean if you wear a mask, you're a hero? Why does it mean that you're doing a good thing? And so the line between sort of like, who is allowed to dictate law and order, I think that's a really, it's relevant, but also I think that's very real in the Marvel universe, is why do people think they can put on a mask and just enact justice however they see fit?
Is Frank's killing justified, or is Matt's reluctance a half measure? Personally, I don't know. And I think that's what makes this scene from Daredevil Born Again so great.
Oh, you and your goddamn system. You and your goddamn system.
Thank you for watching.
Christ! You know he gets to breathe the same air that you breathe. You feel good about that?
He got life! How about old Foggy? He got life.